Hey, Mike here from Showboys. We're excited to bring you Showboys Gaming, a YouTube channel created for you to enjoy our exclusive gaming content. Anything from live streams to gaming videos will be found here. Go subscribe now so you don't miss out on any Showboys gaming content.
Too young for this trek. The final frontier. These are the voyages of
MC,
Troy,
and Eric.
Their mission to introduce Tyler to strange new episodes.
To seek out the best and worst media in the Star Trek franchise.
To boldly go where several podcasts have probably gone before.
You could listen to these goobers talk about Star Trek by searching for Too Young for This Trek or by visiting probablywork.com.
Hey, Nick from Showboys here, and I want to invite you to become a member of the Showboys Discord. Our Discord is the one-stop shop for all things Showboys, from announcements to fun conversations, and of course, memes. Come get to know the Showboys staff and our growing community of pop culture fanatics. We have something for just about anyone.
Hi, I'm Becca.
And I'm Mike.
And we're the Courtneys.
We're the hosts of a new marriage and relationship centered podcast called Couple Conversations. We're not here to give marriage or relationship advice, but instead we're just going to have some honest and thought-provoking conversations about our relationship.
After 10 years of marriage and the chaos of parenting, business ownership, and being content creators, we thought it was important to focus on dating each other and keep the spark alive in our marriage so when we're old and wrinkly, we still enjoy each other's company.
Each week, we'll be going through a series of questions to have honest conversations about our relationship, as well as occasionally be joined by other couples to hear their stories and advice. We just want to share the things that we've learned along our journey and remind you all to continue to date your spouse.
So join us every other Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, beginning October 8th, and join the conversation.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Showboy. My name is Mike. I'm joined with my lovely host, Nick, and my other lovely host, Chad. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing great. Doing good.
Yes, same.
How are you, Mike?
I'm doing pretty good. Excited. I got to see you a little bit today. Went to the hardware store, helped me pick up a piece of wood.
Whoa.
Was supposed to be 3 pieces of wood, but they done messed up, bro. And now I get all 3 pieces of wood for free, which, listen to this. Okay, this is crazy. 3 sheets of 4x8 plywood, $180 some. Kidding me?
Unbelievable. Chad's like, I don't even know what the price of wood is.
Yeah, couldn't care less, to be honest with you.
Shouldn't be $180 some for
Nope.
Sounds about right.
Pieces of wood.
Sounds about right.
Should be like 60.
Tried to, I'm not going to say the name of the store. But
But
it
it's
rhymes
orange.
That's all you need to say. You don't need to say anymore.
It's not the blue
there's
one.
only
not
two.
the blue
It's
one.
not blue.
It's the orange one.
Yeah, Becca went in earlier this week, paid for 3 sheets, right? And talked to 2 different people and was like, okay, hey, if I pay for these now, will you guys like hold them for me? I'm gonna come pick them up later in the week. Because apparently, like everything else, there's a shortage of plywood sheets, apparently. And they're like, yeah, no problem. So I go in to pick it up today, ask Nick to come help me because, I don't have a truck and he does. So this guy, out of the kindness of his heart, meets me over at the orange store and then has to sit in the parking lot for like 20 minutes while I try to figure out why there's only one piece of wood in the store.
The whole store, one piece of wood.
Yeah, one stinking piece of 4x8 plywood. Anyways, turned out to be pretty sweet because we get all 3 pieces for free now. So, yeah, I guess I can't really complain. Got my $180 back.
And I get half of that now.
Well, let's not get carried away.
Whoa. You know what? You know why there is no supplies anywhere? It's because someone somewhere is either building a Death Star or like spaceships to get off this rock.
Yeah, there you go.
It's all Elon. I blame Elon.
Elon. Come on, Elon.
That's my conspiracy right there.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I would totally make a spaceship out of plywood for sure.
Definitely. That seems like the safest thing to make it out of, actually.
Yeah. Nothing can go wrong there. But anyways, that was my opening story for tonight. But you asked how I was doing, so I had to tell you. Yeah. I want to start off, obviously shouting out our top tier patrons. Thank you, Tim B and Yusuf H. Appreciate the support. You guys mean a lot to us. I can't believe you've been patrons for this long now. Thank you very much. It means a lot. If you have any interest in supporting the podcast, you can head over to patreon.com/showboyspodcast. Check out the 4 different tiers we have. There's a lot of perks and rewards, different price points, all for less than 3 cups of Starbucks a month. If you go top tier, I mean, that's 3 trips to Starbucks. I mean, it's actually less. But yeah, if you could head over there, check that out, and become a patron, it would mean the world to us. Help us, fund some things on the back end. But hey, if you're not in a position to do that, we're just glad you're here listening or watching. We just ask that you subscribe or like or follow wherever you're listening at. I mean, heck, leave us a review. I don't know. That would be sweet.
For the lowest tier on our Patreon is roughly the same amount as an Arby's slider.
Between the hours of like 2 and 5, right?
During happy hour. That's what I got to say.
If you go to the Arby's happy hour and just sacrifice one of those sliders, you could be a Showboys patron.
Or you just put sliders in our mailbox from Arby's. Like that works too.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Well, not me. If you do that, you got to take the bun off. That gluten-free life, bro.
Wow.
Sucks.
Now you're getting picky.
I know. Anyways, moving on. Thank you for just hanging out and watching. The other thing we want to tell you about is our merch shop. The link to the store is in our episode description or on our link tree, which is linktr.ee/showboyspodcast. Got a lot of cool stuff up there. Phone cases, coffee mugs, tumblers, t-shirts, hoodies. I mean, hey, there's a wicked surge of COVID rampaging across the United States right now. You know what you could do? You could rep Showboys on your mask if you wanted to, because that's right. We have Showboys face mask and neck gaiters. So just saying, if you want to be COVID conscious and still support the podcast, you could totally do that. Head over to our merch shop, check it out, see if there's anything you like, and start repping the pod, bro. And then lastly, we are working on a little survey for you guys, actually, because we want to get some feedback, to kind of see how we're doing and where we can improve. So be on the lookout for that in our Discord and on our social medias. Probably at the beginning of next week, Monday or Tuesday, we might be putting that out. So if you see it, if you could take it, it'll only take a couple minutes. It would really help us out and help us improve what we're doing over here. Yeah, that's it. That's it for the intro. That's it for the plugs. What do you guys want to talk about tonight?
Well, it is our last episode of the year. Did you realize that? Just so happens we almost our Thursday episode almost fell on the last day of the year, but we're just one day shy. I guess that would be New Year's Eve, and we wouldn't have one anyways, or we probably would because
I mean, New Year's Eve is like not a cool holiday anymore for me.
Especially when you have kids and there's a pandemic. Like there's just a lot of roadblocks at this point in our lives into like doing anything else.
Yeah, what else you can do exactly?
So what we should do tonight is kind of look back on the year, right? Whether it's the podcast episodes, obviously TV shows, films. We're gonna abstain from covering any games tonight, Chad.
We already did that a couple weeks ago, right? Our favorite games of 2021.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even when I was doing my notes, I was like, I'm not going to mention that because that's going to lead into a gaming rabbit hole. And we still there's still a few in there I had to toss in there, and I have to risk it just because I have to say them. So we'll do our best. This is a what's playing or what's watching, by the way. So
yeah,
that'll be next week. I'm very excited for next week, though.
Ooh, next week's episode is gonna be real fun.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It feels like it's been forever since we've done one, right?
Yeah. Darn
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yep. These dang themed months of ours, October and December.
Chad misses the summer stretch where we just like slammed out what's planes like 2-3 weeks in a row.
Yeah, man. That was it.
Yeah, so 2021 year in review, Showboys style, I think is on the menu tonight. I'm excited to do that. But Chad, before we get into that, there's something that, we all need to talk about now that Nick and I have finished Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So I thought we need to just have a quick little chat about Hawkeye, and then we'll go into our year in review. So, Hawkeye's still, kind of fresh. So here's your spoiler warning. We might get into some stuff that's going to spoil the series. So if you're listening now and you haven't watched the show, go ahead and mute, head over to the merch shop or our Patreon page, check it out, go to our YouTube page, subscribe, look at all of our other stuff that we have out there. Check back in probably like 15 minutes, maybe 20, 30, I don't know, but do come back, or at least leave us open on your browser and muted, because I would hate to ruin the series for you, but if you don't care, stick around, and we're going to get into a nice little chat about Hawkeye. So Chad, you saw it, you're the first of the three of us. What'd you think? Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so I gotta be honest with you. I have not seen Loki yet, but Hawkeye's probably my favorite out of the MCU shows right now. I think they're all really, really good. WandaVision was shocking to me that it was as good as it was, but Hawkeye's just got that, I don't know, it's got that like street level New York City vibe to it, and it really reminded me of Daredevil, and we'll get into why even more so towards the end of the show. It started reminding me of Daredevil, but just, I don't know, everything about it, the Christmas music, the New York City at Christmas time, seeing Hawkeye, seeing Kate Bishop, which I think the casting on Kate Bishop was phenomenal, which we've talked about, I think, a couple times here before. But yeah, I loved every single minute of it, to be honest. What about you guys?
Go ahead, Nick.
I agree with Chad completely. Like, it is that fun kind of like superhero on foot running about, and that obviously it's Hawkeye, so that is like kind of like his thing. He can't fly, and they lean into all those details in the show, and they do it in a good way. And I did like how they connected her seeing him during the Battle of New York, and just like that moment, like that just basically like it screams Hawkeye. And she was like, I saw you, like, you can't fly, you don't have powers, but you like jumped from this building and we're just fighting the bad guys. And I was like, yeah, that is pretty sweet. And
Yeah.
like, that's kind of what it's all about. And it had, but I did like how much they played with his duality, right? Because he does have like a dark past, as all those kind of assassin characters do. But the finale, hated it.
Worst finale ever.
Worst
All right,
finale
moving
ever.
on. No, I want to say one thing real quick. Actually, two things, and then we can get in the finale, and then whatever. We'll see where it goes. First, I love how Hawkeye finally got his own show, only to be the side character in his own show. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
I keep hearing that, but I don't know where that's coming from. Like, I don't feel like he's a side character.
Yeah, well, I feel like so we all know he's probably retiring, right?
Yeah.
And Kate's gonna take his place. So I just felt like it was kind of like your gripe for a lot of the Spider-Man stuff in the MCU. I just feel like it was more of a Kate Bishop growing into Hawkeye less than or more than like Hawkeye like leaving his role, if that makes sense. Secondly, I love how Kate Bishop is probably the only fan of Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Like, I love, like what Nick said, I loved how the very first episode that, the first, scene there where the Battle of New York, takes place, and the side of her condo or room or whatever gets like blown up, and she's just standing there watching the battle play out, and she just so happens to be in perfect position to see Hawkeye's fight scene on the roof. And when he jumps off, the iconic scene where he's falling backwards, shoots his arrow up, then like, Indiana Jones through the office building. And then she sees that, and that sticks with her. And then that like leads her down the path of, taking archery lessons and becoming a great archer and all that stuff. And she grew up idolizing Hawkeye and wanting to be that, which is probably the only person in the world who was like, oh man, I want to be just like Hawkeye, when you have like Thor or Iron Man or so. But I loved that. I also enjoy Jeremy Renner quite a bit. So, anytime he's in a show or a movie, I'm always down to watch. So I've enjoyed Hawkeye through his entire MCU run. So it was really cool to see, a Hawkeye series. Now, out of the MCU series, I would still say Loki's probably the best. WandaVision is probably second, but I think this one is better than Falcon and Winter Soldier. I enjoyed it more. It has more of a like, I don't know. I mean, Falcon and Winter Soldier had a buddy cop vibe, but like I feel like this was even more so like a detective styled show. Probably because neither of them have superpowers, whereas Bucky is a super soldier and Sam has his Falcon wings and stuff.
Hawkeye just has more of the like original hero group, like the original Avengers swagger to him. Like he just has that essence about him, where Falcon and Winter Soldier did not have that. But maybe they could have, because WandaVision and Loki obviously still kind of carried that weight. Like for whatever reason, like to me, Falcon and Winter Soldier, like they had the least weight to their characters in terms of like hero-nomics. I just made that word up.
I like it. Hero-nomics. That's awesome. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier. But like I said on the show multiple times, none of these shows really hold a candle to Daredevil and the original Netflix Marvel stuff for me personally. But Hawkeye was the closest to get to that yet. But I just liked it. It's cool to see the tracksuit. I think that in the comics they're called the tracksuit Draculas, but the ones that use bro at the end of every sentence, I think they do the same thing in the comics. It was cool to see because I believe, I could be wrong on this, so comic nerds out there don't get real mad at me, but I think Hawkeye is deaf in the comics. So it was cool to see them kind of implement that a little bit here where he's got some hearing loss and the hearing aid and stuff. And I also really, really, really enjoyed the play that he went to see in New York City. Even at the beginning, the first scene where you see him in there and he's got his hearing aid off, I loved it. And then to throw it in as the end credit scene for the series, I thought was hilarious. Just seeing the whole thing.
Song,
yeah. I'm curious if I think they almost certainly had to get like someone on Broadway to do that. Like that's a Broadway group, right?
Quite a few of the people in that scene are on Broadway. I went through since we didn't do a companion series on it. Whenever we do companion series, I stay away from watching breakdowns on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I can like formulate my own opinions and stuff. But since we didn't do that, I went and smashed all of the new Rockstar breakdowns in like one day of work. And I forget which of the actors in the Broadway scenes are actual Broadway performers, but there were like 2 or 3 that they mentioned. So that was pretty cool.
Right.
I will say I loved seeing like all the wear and tear the years of serving as an Avenger has taken on his body, because besides Natasha, who's dead, he's the only, well, Sam also is like pure human, no superpowers. But for whatever reason, he's a bit younger and wasn't around like the entire through the entirety of the first, pre-end game phase of the MCU. But Clint's been through some stuff and his body like shows it. Like he is just worn down. Like Chad said, he's deaf in one ear, so he's got the hearing aid, which makes sense because he's been around a ton of explosions and chaos. So it's really cool to see that. I mean, that's shown in this, because we haven't really seen that yet. Because most superhero stuff, besides like Batman, right, are super powered individuals, or like Tony Stark have like a mech suit basically to protect them. But yeah, I enjoyed that aspect for sure.
Yeah, and then we should probably break down the biggest reveal of the show, at least for me personally. Also before we do that though, I do want to give a nod to Echo, who's the deaf antagonist in the series. I thought she was great. She's getting her own show, I'm pretty sure.
Yep, she is, definitely.
So I'm excited for that. But that leads to one of the biggest reveals, and that was Wilson Fisk is in this series. And Vincent, what's his name? Vincent D'Onofrio?
Yes, sir.
Is reprising his role as Fisk, which is hands down, without question, the best rendition of Fisk, period. Live action, cartoon, video game, anything. So, it was exciting to see him back. I think they definitely powered him up a little bit for the MCU, because we saw some like fight scenes with him in Daredevil where he was just like a brawler, for what I remember. It's been a while since I've watched Daredevil, but like when he starts fighting here, he like rips the car door off in like a crazy fashion, and then he like gets hit by a car and blown up and all kinds of crazy stuff. Gets shot with the arrow and he just knocks it away with his cane.
Yeah.
So I got to be honest, I kind of thought that this was coming when the whole uncle scene with Echo happened, where he said your uncle's taking him back. It just looked like him. It sounded like him.
Yeah, the laugh was a dead giveaway.
So I would have been shocked if it wasn't him. But that might have went with my knowledge of the comics, because I think they have Echo and him have a closer relationship in the comics also.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I just I'm so excited he's back. There's more characters coming from Daredevil, so my hope is that we're going to get another Daredevil series. It doesn't sound like it right now. It sounds like they're going to be like background characters in other MCU shows. She-Hulk, I think, is going to have Fisk in it and something else. Probably Echo. I'm not sure if Echo is like a prequel.
Fisk will definitely be an Echo.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Then they'll intro Daredevil.
Say it again?
Isn't that how they'll bring back Daredevil into the whole MCU then?
No.
But I can't Echo and Daredevil, like
I can't say how they bring Daredevil back into the MCU. You just have to wait, and we can talk about it at some other point. So, yeah, I mean, I was super pumped, man. His outfits I thought were awesome. He had the purple pants. He had the cane, which I don't remember him having a cane in Daredevil. Maybe he did, but I mean, that cane is like literally a spinning image of my Fisk action figure upstairs. Like it's like they ripped it right off the figure. So they nailed the cane, nailed the outfit. Even the Hawaiian shirt and the white suit is right out of the comics too. So
make Wendigoon proud there.
Yeah. And then I don't know. I don't think he dies at the end. I mean, they kind of leave it open where Echo confronts him.
You don't see the body, bro.
You don't see a gun. I mean, you hear a gunshot. In the comics, she blinds him when this happens. I hope that's not the route they're going because I just want this Fisk for a little bit longer before you blind him and make him all bitter. But yeah, I don't know. They kind of lean like the next scene after that gunshot is Hawkeye and Kate Bishop sitting on the squad, and he's like, "You went one-on-one with Kingpin, and not many people make it out of that." So I don't know if maybe, we'll see how that gunshot plays out. But I would prefer that he just like smack the gun away or something, and we just keep both those characters because I love both of them. So
yeah, I also love how huge they made him look. Like, I mean, Vince is rather large these days, anyways. But like, with camera angles, and I'm sure like some other like prop stuff, hopefully, because I mean he looked pretty massive. So hopefully some of that was I don't know, maybe padding and then camera angles and stuff. But yeah, they definitely made him look just massive.
Right.
And I don't know. I loved that. But yeah, Fisk, definitely my favorite villain of all of the Netflix Marvel series. So glad that he's back. So glad that Vincent D'Onofrio is playing him because he plays a very good, unhinged Wilson Fisk.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
I just every time. I mean, of course, anytime anyone thinks of Fisk from Netflix, it's got to be the car door scene. I mean, the MCU car door scene played out a bit differently than the Netflix car door scene. Oh man, when that happened in Daredevil, I was like, oh my word.
I do, yeah. It's just one of the best scenes with him in it. And then that entire third season of Daredevil, I thought he was just brilliant in. So it's a no-brainer to bring him back. I'm glad they did it. I hope we see him in maybe some future Spider-Man stuff. I would love to see him and Tom Holland go at it if he comes back for movies. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it does. He's definitely far more powered up in this than he is in Daredevil. He's like almost like indestructible in this series. So
I also enjoyed the Elena stuff, the Black Widow stuff, even though I haven't seen the movie yet. That side arc was really cool. Particularly the episode that starts out with Elena's like kind of like side story in 2018. Loved how she goes into the bathroom, shuts the door, starts to wash her hands, gets dusted, but then instantly comes back. Everything changes around her, and she's like, "What's going on?" It was so cool to see the snap from that perspective. It's a perspective we haven't seen yet, and just
the paint on the walls are different.
Yeah, like literally, that was so cool to see. Because then you get like true idea of what it must have been like for those characters. Like it literally was like a snap of a finger for them in length. Like they were just like, oh, that was where am I? What is
Yeah,
like what
yeah.
just happened?
Yeah, it's a cool way to handle it because they blip away for 5 years, but it's like I thought that was so cool that to them it was a blink of an eye. And I think you're right. That is the only time that we've ever seen. I'm trying to think because there was something in WandaVision too where
it was never that close though, or that it was never like that, like personal space, like exactly like almost from her point of view.
Yeah. It showed. I forget what her name was. Is her name Monique or I don't remember. But yeah, she reappears in the same place she was, but like you guys are saying, you don't see the whole process of her being dusted and coming right back, but you still got to see the chaos there of like everyone in the hospital because she was in a hospital. So there were multiple people, but like just reappearing and like doctors running into people or appearing out of thin air. And just like in, was it Homecoming or Far From Home, where like the marching band just appears in the middle of the basketball court. So yeah, we've got to see this event from multiple perspectives, which has been super cool. But this particular one was really, really like I don't know, put everything in perspective for me, at least.
For sure. Yeah.
When are they going to get?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, when are they going to get into like more of like the boys type angles on like how when you come back works? So like middle of the highway, like you just come back, like you're dead.
Yeah,
the building got demolished in those years, so you just fall a couple like 10
right,
and you're dead. Like there's some pretty gnarly.
Or like you're like on an airplane. Or like a
boat, like
maybe we'll
see.
Pacific. Yeah, maybe we'll see some of that in the Deadpool movie that's rated R.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be great if we saw some of that.
I think it's tricky, real tricky.
It
They
is.
played it very safe in that regard so far.
Sure. People falling out of
yeah.
I mean, it brings up like an airplane. You're flying an airplane. Do you blip back into the airplane, or do you blip to where you were into that point in time? Right? Yeah. It's a very interesting way to break it down.
I'm emailing Kevin now.
Okay,
Kevin,
so if you're stuck in whatever shelter or vehicle or whatnot, like Nick said, what happens if the house is no longer there? Are you just like stuck in limbo and like limbo because the house
that's a series. It's the Lost. Like these are the ones that got lost because they couldn't blip back.
That's it.
Oh man,
that's it.
Very interesting. Cool. Definitely email Kevin, Nick.
Okay,
make that pitch. Because we're on first name basis.
Dear Kevin.
Right.
I will say I agree with Chad. Kate Bishop was great. Haley Steinfeld, perfect. I loved the interactions and scenes with her and Yelena. Thought they were hilarious. Particularly the questioning scene over a pot of macaroni and cheese.
I tell you what, I tried the macaroni and cheese and sriracha. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I was pretty impressed. Yelena knows how to eat her mac and cheese. Yeah, that's valid also.
The elevator scene, really funny. I loved the LARPing stuff. That was hilarious.
Oh man, that LARPing. Yeah, the whole LARPing scene is awesome.
He's like, just kill me.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. I thought it was, one of my favorite scenes was him going in where he finds out that LARPer stole his suit, where he just like steals all the fire gear and walks in. Like, I'm like, okay, like that probably would never actually happen, but sure. I'm here for it,
Yeah.
But the LARPing thing was great. And then the end where they're like, he's in the tree. And he's like, where's our backup? And they come walking out all, kitted up with their LARPing stuff. And he's like, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
It's like, that's so great.
I love that. And then like Jack, like putting his sword skills to work there. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Kate Bishop's and Hawkeye's interactions too. I thought they were great together. Their chemistry was fantastic together. The texting scene where she's like texting him, I thought literally had me rolling, where she's like, don't act like you're hanging out with your friends. We both know you don't have any. It was so. The writing in this is great. I thought.
I love when they were sitting on the subway or whatever, and she's like saying stuff, and his hearing aid was off. He just like loudly repeats everything.
Said. Yeah, that was great too. Yeah.
It's great. It's a good show. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and it kind of snapped me out of my
anti-MCU. Yeah.
So I finished that, got real excited that Fisk made his way back. We had talked about that a lot on the newscast. There's really like 3 big candidates to make their returns back. Be it soft reboots or complete like reprisal of those characters. Fisk being a big one, obviously that came true. Charlie Cox, his Matt Murdock, Daredevil, which I haven't seen Spider-Man, but come on, we know. And then the third is John Bernthal's Frank Castle, aka the Punisher. Those have all been rumored. I think Jessica Jones is a fourth, but probably the one that has the least bit of traction. But yeah, so it was cool to see, 2 of those 4 have come to fruition. I hope so much that the Punisher comes, though I don't know how they would do that Disney style unless they push that over to like FX or something on Hulu.
That's what I figured it would happen. It's just weird that I would love to know what happened between Marvel and Netflix, because I get that probably the original plan was to bring everything to Disney Plus, right? But now they have partnered with Hulu after the whole Netflix thing.
No, I think they bought Hulu.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay.
I think, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that would make
which is why it's
sense.
Bundled with
Disney Plus and ESPN and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think a lot of those characters deserve to come back.
Yeah.
But some, like Punisher is just not going to fit into the MCU. I don't think. Unfortunately, I love the Punisher show.
Mm-hmm.
Jessica Jones, same thing. I feel like for my money, the MCU shows should be the street level New York City stuff. You know what I mean? And then leave the MCU stuff to the movies. I know that they wanted to kind of clean up some storylines throughout these first couple shows here with Loki and Hawkeye and all that stuff. But I think moving forward, it would be smarter to just be like, okay, it did get a little funky there with the rights to the characters. Like Netflix had the rights to Daredevil, and that's all ended now.
Yeah.
So it's time to bring some of the stuff back, because a lot of that stuff got prematurely canceled, obviously.
Yeah.
And I just don't want them to be background characters in further MCU shows,
For sure. Overall, pretty awesome series. If you haven't watched it, recommend it, especially if you're into the MCU stuff. It's pretty great. I don't know. Nick, you had any other thoughts on the series?
No, yeah, I agree with all that. I mean, it's a really good show. It's just, to me, the ending got really, it took me out of it deeply.
Okay, so yeah,
let's break
that down, because I thought you were joking.
Yeah, no, I'm dead serious. I'm dead
totally
serious.
joking. Okay, go for
Okay.
it.
Of all the MCU shows, that was like the worst ending. So I'll start at the end. The cherry on the whole cake, icing and all, was fast forwarding to be like, all right, let's see what the end credit scene was, and then I had to sit there and watch that horrible Broadway thing. Like, I feel like Hawkeye watching that. Like, it's horrendous.
Nick's wishing he had hearing aids to turn down.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't think that was necessary. I just don't get that humor. It's not funny. I'm with Hawkeye on that. It's not cool. But so they spent the whole series being so well grounded. Everything makes sense, right? So like Chad said, there's the MCU, then there's like the street level stuff. The finale just felt like a little bit of MCU, but then almost like a lot of Gotham-esque like corniness in terms of what it was, really taking it out of that street level stuff to where it was just misplaced with the rest of the series. So the biggest thing, like, I can get behind the Kingpin stuff. Like, he's charged up. He's just like that guy, right? That's okay. Even though there was some stuff in there that was a little but what really took me out of it was the ice skating rink fight. Like that just choreographically made no sense. Like they would have got pummeled. Like I don't care how many arrows you got, whatever you're doing on that ice. Like there was 100 of those tracksuit guys pummeling in there. It was just super comic booky, which I get they wanted to maybe do, but it was just disconnected from the rest of the series. I felt like,
I do recall kind of like rolling my eyes at a lot of the ice rink stuff.
Yes,
specifically, nobody slipped at all, and they're like fighting in the middle of an ice rink.
Yeah,
right.
There's just like a lot of logistics there that just weren't clicking in my brain.
Yeah,
and then
like,
I guess
how like there were so many tracksuit dudes, like
tons. And where were the cops in all of this? Like, this is not reality.
You could say that about not 100% of the MCU stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
None of this stuff is. You kind of got to detach yourself from the reality of the situation
a little bit. But when Iron Man's flying around and Thor's in there, obviously the cops are backing off. But like, it's a bunch of mobsters like running around beating people up in the most like
populated area in Christmas New York City.
Yes, like that's tree. Where it just took me out of it because like they spent so much time putting me in that setting and it was so wonderful, and then all this crazy stuff happened in the finale and they were just like out the window with it.
I think they were just vibing off of their Christmas theme, and when you think about Christmas in New York City, you think about Rockefeller Center. That's what even people that don't live in New York City think about. So I think they wanted the final fight scene, but I can see where you're coming from with the logistics of everything going on there.
I did like and appreciate all the trick arrows. Those were cool.
Oh man, yeah,
that was cool showing them getting made and stuff. Like that was really good.
Yeah, I love. Kate's got like the label maker.
Yeah, I thought that was great too. The Ant-Man arrow was awesome. I don't remember what episode it is on the bridge, but I thought
I'm gonna have to ask him about that.
That
was good.
I will say, as happy as I was to see Fisk, I got pretty bummed when they like juiced him up.
Right.
Really interesting.
Yeah, just because like I don't know. I feel like not everyone has to be like. I mean, he's not. He's
not fight
super
Superman
powered,
someday.
But Superman's not even in. I mean, that's DC, bro. But no, like. I don't know. I enjoyed him being just like a maniac, like human in Netflix. So like, I mean, I'm cool with, giving him a little bit of a buff, but like he got smashed by that car. Like, and he straight up ripped a door off a car and then got exploded.
Yeah.
It's just like,
so
all right, come on.
That was the one thing that I had a problem with logistically, like Nick, was that entire car scene where he rips the car door off. Okay, Kate's mom is in the car, rips the car door on the sidewalk, rips the car door off, and then turns to talk to Kate Bishop, and almost immediately gets whammed by the car that I assume
was parked 10 feet away.
Like it just the timing was way off on it. Like we needed like at least 30 seconds so she could do a U-turn.
Was she even driving?
No.
So she had to get out, get in the driver's seat.
She had to get a dead body out of the driver's seat, which is going to take at least a couple minutes for a small girl like her to get the body
and
out.
Somehow hit like 45 miles an hour in like a 5-foot span.
Right. If you've ever been to New York City, those streets are very narrow. I mean, it's going to take you a good 15
got to go around like
turn.
3 blocks and
to turn around.
That was.
And I think that was it though. It was because there was so much of it just stacking up in the finale where so far the series had been very flawless in that regard. And then it all just kind of hit at once. And I was like, I'm way out of the sync right now.
Yeah, that's true. I think they were leaning a little too, they overdid everything they had to do in that final episode with Fisk and everything else coming to a head. Maybe could have used 8 episodes to kind of pan it out a little bit better, maybe even 7. But for the Fisk stuff, like I get that you don't like that he's powered up, but he has in the comics, he's pretty strong in the comics. He has some pretty knockdown, drag out fights with Spider-Man and Daredevil and stuff. So I liked it. I liked that they took a established character from Netflix and kind of gave him a little bit of a spin.
Yeah.
So
I'm cool with like, him getting shot with the arrow, not being affected, just snapping it off, and like just being a good, strong fighter. But it's just like the ripping the car door off, getting like obliterated by a car.
Yeah.
And then just getting up and just like he, I don't know, tripped over, a stick or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't, it's a very small thing for me. Overall, really enjoyed the show. But yeah, I totally thought you were joking there, Nick.
Nope.
I did too. So you're not the only one.
Nope. No,
I will say I was very annoyed by the post-credit scene, but then I got over it and I was like, okay, this is actually hilarious because like everyone is getting trolled right now. It's like nobody expects that. And then not only did they do that, but they did like the whole like 5-minute song or whatever. And I was like, oh, they're really going for it. That's awesome.
Yeah. And I would say kudos also to Natasha's sister. Like they're both her and Hawkeye are just treating junior Hawkeye here as like just the up and comer, like giving her so much like leeway, because that was the first one where I was like, okay, that can slide because I get what's going on here. When those two are running through the building and she was trying to slow her down, like clearly she could have just annihilated her because she's like a very skilled assassin, Natasha's sister, but was letting the kid just kind of like poke at her the whole way through the building.
Yeah. Well, I think it's great because like, I mean, that wasn't her job, right?
Right.
So she didn't, I mean,
and she liked her.
Yeah. I loved their playful relationship there. The elevator cracked me up so much. She just like smacked her hand.
Got her. There's
yeah.
So good.
All right. Well, our 15-20 minutes of Hawkeye
turned into 46. Shocking.
No, it's
Welcome
been
to
30.
Showboys.
It's been
30. Oh yeah, true. It's only been about 30-35.
Yeah.
But still, what a talk, what a show. Go watch it. It's fun.
Yeah, well deserved. I mean, we didn't do a companion series on it, so we can at least spend 30 minutes on it.
That's true. But I will say of the MCU series, going along with Nick's gripe about the end and kind of the fumble of maybe trying to do a little too much there at the tail end of the end. I don't know, just kind of like follow suit with the other series where like WandaVision's finale was kind of not very well received. I think Loki's finale kind of maybe middle of the road. I think Falcon and Winter Soldier's finale was fine. But yeah, this one wouldn't be the first of the Disney Plus series to kind of raise some questions.
Right.
But anyways, moving on. Let's get to our 2021 year in review. And I got to say, Nick has come so prepared for this. I am shocked, surprised, amazed. So much so that I'm just going to let you drive us home, bro. Wow, take control, take the reins. Mainly because I don't want to step on your amazing preparedness.
That's fine. That's fine. That's acceptable.
So, yeah. Take it away, bro.
All right. Well, first, I would like just to highlight like our favorite like moments like as a podcast, right? Because there's just a lot of things that we've done this year. And I'll just start with saying like our move to YouTube. Like I think that was a big highlight for me. Prioritizing YouTube. Moving to like the live stream format, like that's fun, but I'm also so happy that it translates still very well to the audio, because when I do listen to the audio only versions, it's pretty much all intact, barring a few things. So that's one of my favorite things. And right next to that would be like the launch of the Discord, just because that coincided with like the move away from like social media so much, like because I'm just like kind of off that, and I just like hang out in Discord these days. And I just think it's like a really good place to go. And I like our Discord a lot. It's just like a nice catch-all to throw stuff, memes, comments, thoughts. Not really intending anyone to ever reply sometimes, because it's just like it's my dumping ground. So just like social media, but
I'd have to agree. I think I've always been a big user of YouTube. Well, I shouldn't say always. Probably the last like 2 years or so, particularly due to the nature of my job. Sitting at a desk all day working on spreadsheets and reading through deeds and leases and legal documents and crap. A lot of times when the office was open and we were working on location, a lot of times with headphones on, listening to podcasts, listening to Rogan, listening to music, watching videos in the background as I'm, plugging away at these godforsaken spreadsheets.
Forsaken.
Yeah. Throwing our episodes on YouTube was going to be a priority to me just because that's how I consume most of my media anyways. But the switch to doing the live stream on YouTube and also Facebook and Twitter and Twitch, wherever we've dumped live streams in the past, has been really fun. And I think the live stream, to me at least, made the show took the fun level of doing our shows to the up a notch, because it allows our listeners and the audience, whatever, who are tuned into the live stream, to participate along with the show, comment in, and then we read the comments, and then sometimes that sparks a whole rabbit trail we go down for 20-30 minutes, and it's just super fun to get to interact with people listening, because I know as a listener of podcasts, sometimes I'll hear what they're talking about and be like, oh, here's what I think about that, or
right,
have you ever thought about this, and then wish that I could throw that into somewhere into the abyss and maybe continue that conversation further. So the fact that we get to do that with our listeners it just makes it a lot more fun.
Nice. How about you, Chad? I mean, I know you're a little newer around here, but
yeah. I mean,
look, we've talked about this recently though. Your first appearance was pretty early on in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the highlight for me for this year, obviously, is joining you guys in a more full-time capacity. So even as far back as I can't remember what the episode that Alex and I did on here was. It ARGs maybe?
That was October 2020.
Yeah. So even starting there, I always loved being on the show, and then when I started to kind of do the gaming stuff with you guys more, I was just began loving it more and more and more. And then when the opportunity came to join, I was like, it's a no-brainer. Like you guys didn't really even need to ask me. I was already on board. So yeah, that for me is the biggest highlight for me. I wasn't, to be honest, at the beginning, I wasn't the biggest fan with the live setup, just because coming from what I was doing, in that setup, it's very hard to do live because we were basically reading everything. So it's if you screw up, then super awkward. But this I agree with Mike now, where this is built for live. I like it. I like the comments coming in and talking about the comments and stuff. So you've totally changed my mind on that aspect of podcasting, where I was very gung-ho about not doing live stuff before. And now I'm yeah, I mean, if we do it conversational like this, it's kind of the way to go. Mm-hmm. Just because it leads you more into, I've said it before, I feel like we do really good in the rabbit holes when we get down into the rabbit holes. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't really happen if you don't have the comments coming in, if you're scripted, that kind of stuff. So
can't have those superhero TED Talks,
Right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Also, that those live comment rabbit holes really help out when you literally prepare nothing for any of your episodes. So yeah, thank you guys for producing our content for us. Also, to Nick's point about Discord, that in my eyes, probably the best decision that we made as a podcast was opening our Discord server to be a community server and funneling our people into there. It's been just a blast to interact with a lot of those people, and most of the people in our Discord are people that I do not know. It's just random listeners or people who have stumbled upon our episodes or whatever, or friends of people who were already in our Discord. And it's just such a fun place to, like Nick said, just dump your thoughts on all the nerd pop culture, like stuff that maybe isn't enough to make it into an episode here, or I don't know. Yeah, isn't like really podcast oriented, but you know, you can still find somebody to talk to it about. I mean, there's so many different channels in there. I don't know. It's been super fun. So if you aren't a part of our Discord, you should go join because it's a blast.
I mean, the Discord's kind of like our virtual put a pin in it location, because like it's usually stuff where, you know, I'll think of something and I'll probably forget it, or it just has to be said right then and there. But like, it's just a good place to like slap it up there. And like, usually sometimes we'll come back to it. I mean, we even made episodes out of some stuff that gets thrown in there. It's just like a nice catch-all.
Yeah.
For all things
and
Showboys.
Combining the interactivity and engagement thing with, you know, the live stream and Discord, like the Answer the Boys topic every week is super fun.
Yeah.
And we've even, like, we had an entire episode that was fueled by your Answer the Boy replies.
Was that?
Something video game related, because Chad was here. But we didn't even, I mean, literally all we did was read your comments and then comment on your comments.
Yeah.
That was our entire episode, and it was like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just love that stuff. The level of engagement that the live stream provides, but also getting to hang out and chat with everyone in Discord is like through the roof. I don't know. It's just a really cool place to connect with our people, and for them to, you know, learn about us and get to chat with us, I guess. I don't know. Can I say one of my favorite things about the podcast from this year?
Yeah.
It's probably going to be shocking that this is one of my favorite things, but getting to chat with old Wendy
Yeah.
2 times, not only one time, but
Favorite
twice.
episodes?
He came back. Yeah, we can get more into that, because is that a section of your?
I mean, that's the next
thing?
section. It's
Okay.
like favorite episodes.
Perfect.
Let's see. I'll go some non-episode related things. We were talked about the live stream, talked about Discord. I would just say, growing our team. You know, like we had that 50th episode special where we got to have, you know, some of the people behind the scenes, you know, jump on and talk about what they do, like Bianca and Cody. Excuse me. But along with, you know, Bianca, who does art, and Cody, who writes our newscast scripts, bringing Chad on, you know, actually full time instead of just the video game guest, is awesome. Getting Jordan, whose, you know, comments up on the screen right now, more involved, you know, on more episodes has been really cool. And then starting the Showboys stream team with BioCiv, getting to branch out into the video game streaming world has been super fun, and it's awesome to get to partner with somebody like BioCiv, who, you know, just shares the same, you know, goals and vision for, you know, what he's trying to do with what we're trying to do, and getting to try to accomplish those goals together, help each other out. It's been super, super fun, and I'm excited about, you know, some more growth, hopefully in 2022, and bringing more people on board, and helping people create the content that they want to create and have fun doing it. I'm excited.
That's for sure. And yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on like some of my favorite episodes. The 50th episode, obviously, just like bringing on a lot of people that help out with the podcast and just getting to talk to everybody there. But that concept too, just larger in itself. And looking back on it, I didn't really realize this, but I think we've had 3 of those, being the 50th episode, the 35th episode being May the 4th be with you, Star Wars celebration.
Yeah.
And then more recently, we did
Shocking, another Star Wars one.
another Star Wars Order 66. So those episodes, I kind of called them like super or celebration episodes, just because like rolling guest episodes where we just have like time slots and like we just have a new face or new set of faces on like every 30 minutes. Like those are just super fun.
Yeah. I think the first one of those we did was the May the 4th one, right?
Yes, that's the first one.
Okay.
Yep.
That one was so fun to organize and like get set up behind the scenes, and like actively do during the live stream, bringing people in, like Nick said, during those time slots, and then having each guest have like a specific topic that we dive into for like 30 minutes or whatever. I mean, there's some podcasts that are like 30 minutes long, and that would have been their entire episode. So we basically had like 6 episodes in one. But yeah, I guess that brings, another thing of my, thing that I loved from this year, was just the collaboration stuff that we've done with so many different podcasters, podcast communities. Like we have the Be Hero guys, while they're kind of on a hiatus right now, while Tom heals up. Hope he gets better, by the way. But they have a section in our Discord, which is really cool. We got to join the Podcasters Collective for an interview about our show and met, Sarah from Blackbird Advocacy. And then I believe the other guy was Tom from Pod Jerky. Sarah ended up coming on an episode with us, and we talked some true crime stuff, which was super fun, getting to meet Mick and Casey from the Scene Snobs, who have made several appearances on our show and are really, becoming good friends. Who am I forgetting? We did the Indie Pawns United 2021 convention, which was awesome. Am I forgetting anyone?
Was a bite of this year?
A bite of, yeah, I would believe so. Because
they were video. Yeah, they were video. So it would have been this year.
That was a super fun episode. Yeah. Talked a lot about MCU stuff. I think that was Loki.
No, they were doing their WandaVision at the time.
That's what it was. That was one of our first like interview episodes where I didn't really know Mick before he came on, but I like interacted with him on his live stream. A Bite of doesn't live stream. I had listened to some of their episodes, but never really interacted with them like I did Mick from Scene Snobs. So that was like one of the first times we had someone on and interviewed. Like that was the first time we had spoken, was that night, as we were live streaming. But it was so fun. They were so like natural to talk to. We had a blast, a lot of laughs, and a lot of good conversation came out of it. And I think that's probably one of my favorite things so far about podcasting in general, is just all the different people that I've met so far.
Yeah, because definitely it seems that like no matter who it is, like even last year when we did audio only stuff and that Strange was on, it just seems like if you have a podcast and you're doing a podcast, it's really just natural to hop on someone else's podcast and do an episode just out of the blue, because I think everyone's just familiar with what people otherwise see as maybe awkward or nerve-wracking, of like just hopping on and talking to complete strangers on the internet, let alone like on a video chat with topics and stuff. It just seems to always click. Like there's been very seldom where I'm like, this isn't clicking, or like it's just not meshing well. But that seems to go over pretty well every time, which is a lot of fun. Yeah,
for sure. I think that pretty much does it for my non-episode specific stuff. So you want to get into episodes, or unless either of you guys have any other stuff?
Got anything, Chad?
No, I'm good for the episodes.
Okay. Trying to think if there's any other non-episode stuff. I mean, yeah, you hit a lot on a lot of the big important things. Yeah, and I mean that's a good segue into just like episodes because we just named off like a ton of episodes that were like really good. More recently, one of my favorite episodes was our Arcane and Expanse episode. And that kind of gets back more into like the theme of where I feel like we're just like in the pocket sometimes. Like we have a few pockets that we really jive in. And obviously, like Chad said, like the rabbit hole pockets are like good. And maybe that episode was a little rabbit holey because half of it was Arcane, which was not planned, and it was a rabbit hole.
Yeah, you went hard on Jake Gyllenhaal too, I think, in that episode, which I'm sure wasn't planned.
Oh yeah, we had a Jake Gyllenhaal appreciation moment.
It's always in the back of our minds, though. You know, we're always just waiting for the opportunity to love on Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. I mean, what Mike does is he pulls up IMDb and he's like, oh yeah, this guy. And then he's like, oh, he was in that movie, that movie, that movie.
Yeah.
Wow, this guy's great. But yeah, that episode was super fun just because it was just really two topics, maybe three if you count Jake Gyllenhaal. But we just like went to length on both of those. Mike, I had to actually stop Mike on the whole like Runeterra history lore because he was about to like have a seizure in his chair. Like he was like running out of breath. Like he wasn't breathing.
Mike, just take a second. Inhale.
Yeah.
Well, I was so excited because if you've been listening at all to the show over the entirety of our lifespan, you would know I'm a massive League of Legends fan. So the fact that Nick watched Arcane in the first place, which is a League of Legends show, was amazing. But then the fact that he was like, "This is probably like top 5 anime," in my mind, I'm just like, jaw to the floor, like yes, let's do this. We rolled up our sleeves and we went hard, and I appreciate Nick for letting me just have that time to like fanboy out moment.
And I mean that's the biggest thing. Remember, this podcast is just a place for you to vent your
exactly
your the things you need to vent about, so you don't go crazy in your basement.
Yes.
Looking at those spreadsheets. This is all just Mike therapy at the end of the day. We're all here. We're all here for you, Mike.
Thank you.
Chad, you got any favorite episodes from the year?
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys kind of hit on the ones that I really enjoy being a part of, and that's the ones where you have multiple guests and you're rolling them in and out and stuff. And Order 66 was the first one that I was like there for the whole thing, which was super cool. Because up until that point with the May the 4th be with you, I was just like a time slot. And then what was the other one?
Our 50th.
The 50th, I was just a time slot on that too. So it was cool to stick around through all the different guests and talk to everybody. But, I'm always going to pick the What's Playing episodes because that's like my bread and butter. So any of the What's Playing episodes I really liked. I love our top 3 games episodes that we did from the year. And then I'm not sure if it was this year. I'm pretty sure it was, but our favorite games of all time, was that this year? Might not have been.
It was.
I think maybe so. We only had like, I don't know, 8 episodes or maybe 12 episodes in 2020 because we started in September. So
so I really enjoyed that episode. I love getting to hear everybody else's picks for their favorite games of all time. So I could literally do that episode with different guests over and over, and I would have a blast with it. But yeah, just I mean, I got to be honest with you. I enjoy every episode that we do here. To be honest, like there's there hasn't been it really is, because there hasn't been an episode where I've been like, okay, this is like, don't want to do this. Every single one of them I've loved being part of. So.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's where I kind of like really find more themes that are favorite, because it's hard to say like this episode is my favorite or this one, and it's more so like the themes. And I said this earlier was like when Mike went on like vacation, and there was like a few other or I think you had like you had a baby like a couple weeks before, then you went on vacation. So like me and Chad just kind of like took over the summer slots and just like what's playing it out I don't know what we talked about because I don't remember playing that many games, but apparently we have gaming to talk about.
Yeah.
But that was like, I think that was a big highlight of my year, was just like when you really kind of like jumped in there and like we were just slamming through what's playing
For sure.
video game content, and Mike was just like on hiatus.
Yeah, Nick's favorite moments of the podcast were when I was not
when
here.
Mike's not here. Yeah.
Got it. Thanks.
Yep.
But yeah, Bio said while I was talking about the streaming stuff, he said, "Glad you're having fun with it. Enjoy watching all the Showboys gaming content." Thanks, bro.
Yeah,
Enjoy watching all your comments, all your comments, but also all of your content.
Yeah.
That was a good episode too.
Yeah.
And then I have a couple more episodes. The other one was
wait,
E3.
real quick.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I watched the episode that you guys were reacting to game trailers on the.
Yes.
I had that on. I wasn't watching it because I was driving, but I had that on the drive to the beach, and that episode was super cool. Like I loved, the whole throwing the trailer up on screen. You guys kind of talked about stuff as it was happening, and I would love to do more stuff like that. I know that probably doesn't translate as well to the audio only episodes, but
you can hear it, and we talked about it as they were kind of playing.
But ever since you guys did that, I tried to start incorporating more like throwing videos up on the screen and us talking about it. I don't know. I just thought that you guys doing that translated really well, and it made it really fun to watch. And I hope we can do more stuff like that in the future for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I really enjoyed that a lot. I wish we would do more of that. I think it's a cool idea. That'd be great to do through E3 and the conferences and stuff. Kind of a different angle from what we did on E3 this year, which was the episode I was getting to, which was our E3 coverage. And I think I just enjoyed that episode the most because I dumped a whole heck of a lot of time into E3 this year. Because I was writing for Downright Creepy. And, like I said before, I think I cranked out like 24 articles throughout the weekend, which is a whole heck of a lot for me coming off of one article every 3 weeks prior to that. And then I was just cranking them out all weekend long. And, I had the notes to come on here and discuss it. So I'm sure we're going to cover E3 every year as long as it continues happening.
Heck yeah.
You can see the episode art over here in the whatever.
The left of Chad right there.
Yeah.
It even says breakdown with Chad.
Yeah, it does. And then go ahead.
No. Yeah, go ahead.
And then I really enjoyed the debate that Jordan and I had about the gaming prices.
That was funny.
I really, really liked it. I still think 100% I easily won that fight. If you go listen to the episode again, I think it's pretty clear. I think it's pretty clear.
All right, comment below if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, I guess, in the future. You let us know who you think won, Chad or Jordan. Because you can't rely on me, because I'll just be like, well, I don't know. I mean, they both made good points.
That's how I got hit at the end of the episode. I poured my heart and soul into that argument, and Mike was like, "Oh, you guys both did great."
Yeah, well, hey, I'm a father of
everyone gets a trophy.
Okay, I have two very sensitive girls. All right.
Yes, I get it. I get where your heart's coming from, but sometimes during a debate, somebody has to win. So
gotta take a stand, Mike.
Don't want to hurt any of my children's feelings.
And then the final episode that I really enjoyed doing was the weird gaming history episode.
Where
we talked about.
That was fun. Bio was on that.
Yeah. Where we talked about PlayStation's kind of obscure origin story.
Yeah.
So I'd love to do more like that. It's definitely not something I would necessarily want to do a lot of, but one episode a year, maybe 2 episodes would be cool.
That's an exclusive playlist right there. One a year, like that's the might as well charge for that content.
It was really cool to take that deep dive into the history of Sony and Nintendo's relationship and all that drama, which was pretty interesting in and of itself. Those were all fun episodes. I am going to have to say, obviously, the Wendigoon episodes. I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? One of my favorite YouTubers actually replied to me reaching out, which blew my mind. But then he actually came on, which blew my mind. And then when he came on, he's like, wow, this seems pretty legit. And me and Nick are like, we have literally no idea what we're doing ever. This guy's got like nearly 1 million subs now, and he's telling us we seem legit. I'm like, okay.
Hey, at the time, you only had 500,000.
Only, yeah. But speaking of like just feeling natural, like that whole conversation, aside from Nick almost dying by the end due to headache, which if you go back and watch that episode, you could slowly over time just see him like whittling away in his chair.
If it was our normal 2.5 hour episode, it would have been okay, but it was a 3-hour episode. That last half hour just like murdered me.
Yeah. But I mean, that whole conversation just felt so natural. We all just gelled really well, laughed so much. He's a super funny dude. But the third thing that blew my mind was like, he was like, well, that was a lot of fun. I'd totally do that again. So I was like, yeah, okay. And then I asked him again, and wouldn't you know, he came on again. Yep. And it was a blast. But yeah, that was just kind of like, I don't know, it just felt very surreal, because obviously we haven't had like, not that he's like famous or anything, but he's definitely the most accomplished person that we've had on our show so far. But you know, I never thought that we would have people of that caliber come on the show. So it actually happened.
He's like, oh, stop.
Yeah, right. He's probably like listening and blushing or something. Actually, I don't know if he's listening, but that'd be pretty dope.
When I was clipping that episode, you know, it was like the 2:15, 2:20 mark, and he's just like, you guys mind if I like tell that story, like whatever it was? It was about like his grandfather and like the woods, the door in the woods thing. It was like before that tangent, and I was just like, oh yeah, you can tell like when things are going, like things are jiving well when the guest like has another like 40-minute story to tell. After the 2-hour mark.
Right.
Yeah. And then, you know, obviously the 50th and the 2 Star Wars specials were super fun. But I was looking at the background here, and there's the movie conspiracy theory episode. That was super fun to do, where we just talked about like wild fan theories and stuff in different movies and shows. I don't know. That was a blast to talk about all those weird, super weird, like fan theories that are floating around out there.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, I mean, obviously analog horror, but that was in 2020 technically.
Still gets views.
It's been a lot of fun. You gotta throw the companion series in there, all of them. Great time. But we have you know,
speaking of a great time,
challenger.
Challenger.
Yeah.
New challenger.
Wow, another new locale. I have the hiccups.
Yeah, this is
he's got motion blur turned on.
I was wondering, is that
is that a game setting? Are you in a game right now?
He's in some weird blockchain
like a horror movie, right? like the ghostly face that goes super fast.
It's exactly what it looks like. Yeah.
Let's see here. What is?
I like all your night wings back there.
I was gonna say your background's on point, of course. Like you just all your backgrounds are better than mine at every moment. It's not hard.
Hey,
to beat,
mark
though.
this down, guys. This is gonna go in the tribute.
Yeah.
Just open those blinds now. I want to see what's out there.
The Christmas tree.
It's scary, because if you can see what's out there, then what's out there can see what's in here.
Right. True.
And I'm naked from the waist down. I'm just kidding.
This is now my new favorite episode of 2021.
No, this is actually my girlfriend's kids' room, and
okay.
I'm definitely that's a horrible follow up to being naked in here. Actually,
now that I think about it,
yeah,
and said it.
Can we redact that, please?
Yeah, no, they're Kelly and Aiden are out there watching, some stuff, and so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna sit up in here with, I think could be the lighting doing the motion blur.
It looks cool. Whatever you're doing, it looks cool.
Oh, great.
So
I don't know how much you've heard, but we're just kind of going through some Showboys memories from the year.
I heard enough to say, all right, F it, Nick, send me a link. And I was like, I got to get in on this. And
right.
I was doing some wrapping up stuff from work, and like this, other than like, I haven't been around lately, obviously, because I've been really busy. But if I'm gonna miss like most of Halloween from being sick, and then most of Christmas from being really busy, I'll be damned if I'm gonna miss this one.
There you go.
And, I won't be here for the whole time, obviously, but like you said, sharing memories and stuff. I mean, it's been a pretty fun year.
Yeah,
it's
you kind of looked like a psychopath when you said
that. It's motion blur.
Yeah, it's like there's something like we're not telling the audience. Like it's been a fun year.
It's been
like,
a fun year.
I really do think it's a light, because actually no, it's probably me shaking my head so much that the room looks weird now.
Yeah,
I'm starting to question if Aiden and Kelly are actually watching something, or if they're actually just like tied up.
Yeah.
No,
they're in Nick's closet behind us here.
A really fun night.
I think I'm gonna pass out. No, they're watching New Girl right now.
That's a good show.
You know, I can't really get it. I don't really get into it that much, but there's some funny moments in it. But this is like the only light in here, so this isn't getting fixed. So it's
the only light.
Yeah, it really actually. There's one on the floor because I moved everything to make this happen.
That's an odd place for a light to be.
Yeah, right. Floor light disco.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got any fun memories you want to share?
You're
or anything?
Back to the point.
Yeah.
You know, what you said earlier, the collaborations, they're a lot of fun. Having Scene Snobs on here, going over to Be Hero, doing all that. And
it's totally right, because as our liaison, our correspondent, we had a couple titles for Jordan, but like he was like out in the field, like repping Showboys, taking people down in battles and in arguments,
winning debate tournaments. Us.
It was all friendly. It was really fun, but you know, it wasn't much different than just going to the comic book store on Be Hero for that one. You know, like it's always just some kind of weird nerd battle at the comic book store. Yeah. And I probably like the Be Hero setup a little bit better because they weren't bastards about it. But that was a big awesome memory. Doing the Falcon Winter Soldier companion series. That was so much fun. And you know,
you literally cried, right? Laughing on screen.
I was like, it wasn't that good, but no, yeah, from laughing, yes, yeah, I laughed really hard. I can't remember. Was it
something about the 10 rings and puts his hands on the steering wheel or something? I don't know.
I wasn't even like, I don't know how I didn't see it coming. It wasn't even the joke. It was Mike's motion, and I could picture the 10 rings on his fingers going over the people.
Just like my hair.
Yeah,
exactly.
I told you about that, Mike. There's a lot. I mean, it's weird how fast the year went by, but there's a lot of fun highlights. The Star Wars Day episode was great when Chad and I realized that we were the same person.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Man, there's a lot, and it's it's like in the comments, I was like 2022. I'm pretty excited for it. And I'll be around a lot more than I have been, and we'll do some more comic geek stuff. And it's Chad and I, Mike and Nick, did you guys both watch the Patreon video that Chad and I recorded?
No, I'm not a patron. I can't watch it.
Just enough to edit and clip it.
Yeah,
but I didn't want to ruin the movie for myself.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. So
otherwise, like I almost did watch it because I was editing it to post it, but I was going too far. I'm like, I need to stop because I plan to watch this movie at some point in my life.
Yeah,
right. Oh man,
when's that?
When it comes out on Disney Plus.
There you go. It's never coming to Disney Plus. So
we're trying. Not for several years at least.
No. What about Netflix? Anywhere streaming?
I don't think so.
The thing we do in the modern age, we watch it at
isn't
home.
There. Far From Home isn't there. None of the Spider-Man movies are. Yeah,
I never noticed that.
I rent it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because of the Sony thing still. But yeah, no, we're trying to get a babysitter for Saturday, which I don't know if we're going to be able to.
Yeah, last time it was Tuesday. That clearly didn't happen. So maybe Saturday.
Dude.
Actually, Chad, I think we made fun of them in the Patreon video, didn't we?
Yes,
did.
We did. Okay. Yeah.
Chad cold.
You don't need to
open
watch it,
with
Mike.
with Mike and I are losers because we didn't go see a movie like opening night.
Yeah.
It was pretty harsh.
That
Dude,
sounds
it's
about
hard.
right.
It's hard with
That
a
sounds about
5-month-old.
Man. Yeah, it was a good video. I mean, just recording that, like it was. I mean, it's just a Patreon video, but we had fun just talking about Spider-Man. So that
Yeah, for sure.
to be able to have like just simple conversations like that and have it. I mean, you guys know this, but we go over all the time because we love what we're talking about, and
Right.
I think that's what kind of creates a good show, a good podcast for this, and it's like it's four guys just nerding out talking about stuff and
Not getting offended about it.
It's, yeah, right.
Speak for yourselves.
Yeah. And and every type of lighting you can imagine.
Oh yeah. Mike gets like best lighting of the year award from like
Always.
everywhere we've gone.
Best $9 that I've ever
Mike's
spent.
Mike's room actually reminds you of like what we would see when we die. It's like dark, and then you can just see the light like at the end.
And
I
the
mean,
end
I
of
hope.
the tunnel
Funko
is
Pops.
just a giant thing of Funko Pops.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Death is just Funko Pop.
Yeah. Would you be surprised though? Honestly,
No.
I'd be like,
Just sitting on a shelf.
yeah,
God's got a shelf of just Funko Pops.
yeah.
Just another one added to the collection, boys.
Yeah, just mainly Simpson Pops, but yeah.
Oh man, 125 God Funko Pop collection.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll be a good clip.
Good one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I am excited about what might happen in 2022. Not that we have anything specific planned at the moment, but going into 2021, we didn't have anything specific planned, and I feel like a lot of cool things ended up happening, and we're in a place now, here like 2 days away from 2022, where I didn't envision us being at where we are doing the certain things that we're doing, but I love what we're doing and the direction we're heading in. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens. I mean, just in the next month, let alone an entire year. I don't know, but yeah, man,
we'll do more comic stuff and go into some more origins of characters that no one really knows about, and some of those origins are horrible, but we'll make them fun.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, with all apparently like the MCU stuff coming out, I mean, there's probably some really good origin stuff, like you guys did on Falcon Winter Soldier. Got to squeeze out a few more companion series.
And with Moon Knight coming out, there's opportunity to kind of mix two of my favorite things together, and that's paranormal craziness with comic book stuff. And it's there's so much that can happen in that show. Blade, obviously. It's a lot of exciting things, and we'll make sure that we do some fun shows revolving around them.
Yeah, we'll have to eventually one day break away from Marvel and Star Wars for our companion series.
Yeah.
do another
Star Wars
show,
is
but
3 of the 4, by the way. Like
Yeah.
that's already a problem.
Yeah. I don't think that's
depends
going to
on who
happen
you
anytime
are,
soon, though.
I mean, I don't really see that as a problem. But
Right.
I mean, hey, if the boys would ever come out, I mean, that's
That was
locked
supposed
in
to happen
for sure.
months
gonna be a
ago.
companion series.
Oh my god.
Because that has some cool like comic comparison stuff that we can do.
The parallels are incredible.
Yeah.
It's funny you say. I forgot completely that there's a new season coming out for the boys.
I know.
Yeah, we talked
been
a lot
coming
about
out.
Bro, little sneak peek into the newscast Monday. One of Nick and I's favorite shows just got a premiere date announced for season 3, and that is Atlanta, which I'm so hyped.
Nice. Never watched it.
What is it?
It's called Atlanta. It's
On FX. Don
an
Glover.
FX show
Bino.
about a rapper, Paperboy, and super good show. And it's been 3 years, I think, actually, since the last season. So we've been waiting with bated breath for so long, and they finally announced the premiere date, which is exciting. Which you gotta listen to the newscast, find out, because that article no longer exists on the internet anywhere. So the only way you're gonna hear about the Atlanta premiere date is on the
We
newscast.
bought the exclusive right.
Demonetized.
Nick's little laugh there was pretty hilarious.
I didn't even know I laughed.
Yeah. But yeah, enough about us though, you know, because I feel bad talking about us for so long. Because, you know, I mean, there were some cool shows and movies we watched this year. Now, for this, I didn't know, again, the direction we were going in. So I didn't pick all things that came out in 2021. I picked things that I watched.
Fair.
So they could have been older stuff that I just happened to get around to finally. So we'll go with, I don't know, Jordan, do you have anything that particularly you enjoyed watching this year? Because I don't know.
Man.
I don't know how much time you have. So if
No,
you have anything to watch,
it sounds like you're trying to shove me out the door, but
yeah. All right, see you later, Jordan. Thanks. Yes,
I don't know how much time you have. 45 seconds, but so Spider-Man Homecoming. Oh my God, Spider-Man No Way Home is obviously that's probably the one that's really that I really enjoyed watching this year. I'm trying to think of a series that came out. Man, I honestly just all I can think about is Spider-Man. What that movie did was just amazing, and it's obviously we can't talk a whole lot about it with you.
I should go watch it.
Yeah, you definitely should. Yeah.
I don't know, Nick. Maybe we should go sometime.
I don't know. That's the first good thing I've heard about the movie. Everyone else has been very tight-lipped about it.
Yeah.
For all I knew, it was like a big stinker.
Yeah, I heard it barely made any money at the box office. You know.
Yeah.
Barely. What else? Like, I mean, Falcon Winter Soldier obviously was really good.
You did a companion series on it.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it had its issues, but I mean, it's weird. The last couple of years just blend together. So this is I obviously just jumped on here out of nowhere, and I had no thought about anything coming into this. That's.
You can just piggyback off of things we list off. Yeah.
You know, I'm actually curious. I'm gonna wait around a little bit for this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Chad, you wanna maybe rattle off some of the stuff? I mean, you don't have to do your whole list or anything. We could maybe just a couple, and we can talk about them.
I'm gonna hit a couple that you guys have almost certainly not seen, but I want to give a shout out to the movie Silence, which is older Martin Scorsese movie. Not older, I think it was 2016. Maybe it came out. Really cool religion story about feudal Japan. It was kind of like a crazy movie for me to even enjoy, and I loved every minute of it. It's about two priests that go to feudal Japan and don't get treated well. You can take it for what it is and go watch it because it's fantastic. I want to shout out The Outsider on HBO, which is a Stephen King series that I watched this year. I thought it was really good. Buddy of mine at work told me he was reading the book, and I remember that there was a series about it. Didn't come out this year, same thing. But it's a really good show. And then I went through like a samurai phase there. I watched all the old samurai black and white movies.
Wearing the armor every day.
Yeah. I definitely enjoyed all those movies. I got to give a shout out to Rurouni Kenshin, the series of live action anime movies. They're fantastic. If you haven't seen them yet, you should go watch them. And then Spider-Man for sure, 100%. Nailed the final topper of the year for me. It's usually Star Wars that lands on that, but for it to be Spider-Man this year was kind of cool because I kind of got to be on a Spider-Man kick through December instead of Star Wars, so I enjoyed that. And then the last shout out are the newer animated Batman movies, Long Halloween Part 1 and Part 2. I thought were really well done.
Yeah, I was so it's I had to look up some dates to make sure some things came out this year, so I didn't look like a complete idiot.
Yeah,
a bigger idiot, I should say. Long Halloween was on there. Justice Society World War II was on there, and honestly, Superman: Man of Tomorrow, which kicked off that new animated universe, is that's definitely on there. but of course the Snyder Cut. My God, the Snyder
Yeah,
Cut. Like
it's a good one.
they just that was an amazing episode too, obviously, and that we did just revolving around that. I've waited for that for a long time, and I mean a lot of people have, obviously, and Suicide Squad is definitely a big highlight for this year.
The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it is,
on,
and
bro.
it's. I think that's a movie that's going to probably continue to surprise people just with its popularity and merchandise and things that move forward with it. And yeah, I mean,
don't they have a Peacemaker series on
we
HBO
do.
Max?
Yeah. My Vigilante showing up in that show. My God, it's you're like they're bringing in so many different characters to be around who Peacemaker is, and if they're anything like how they reflect in the comics, like it's speaking of The Boys, I think this is gonna remind us of The Boys a little bit. Just the way that the scumbags are all hanging out.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a good show.
Nice.
So.
All right, Nick, what do you got? What's some of the stuff on your list? We'll just keep going around. You don't have to, if you have a huge list, you don't have to like rattle it all off at once.
Yeah, I mean, I'll hit a few here. Obviously, I gave all mine kind of like an award to be extra fancy. So, The Expanse.
Best boobs.
No, definitely not. That was like best late to the game show.
Yeah,
like I was
for
mega
sure.
late to the game on that, but it was the best thing that I like caught up on fully as a series this year. Like I started this year, there's 4 seasons, 5 seasons, watched them all. Now the 6th season's out. This is a great show, and it kind of, I think, renewed or made me understand my interest in more traditional sci-fi that wasn't sci-fi fantasy, just like legit sci-fi, which I think was missing from my life because I'm just like too much sci-fi fantasy, being like Star Wars and whatever else in that realm. Obviously we mentioned it, Arcane. Just gonna let that one like float under real quietly. Attack on Titan season 4 part 1, most anticipated of the year, just because it's in terms of like anime or series, like I was just waiting for that to come out, and it was really good, and obviously excited for part 2 to drop this year. Hopefully this year. It has to be this year. That would be brutal if they were make us wait a whole calendar year plus for another one. And then a little bit of MCU, and this would be like best character breakout and like concept. That would be like WandaVision. I really liked WandaVision because it made me, and this is what I like about when they do series on these superheroes, it made me from a character I didn't know anything or care anything about to being like one of my favorite characters in terms of like concept, origins, and then also how they did like the first half of that show was just super cool.
Yeah, the different like era of sitcoms for each episode.
I would be okay with like the whole series being that way, but they deviated. They deviated. It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give them props though for being outside of the box for like the majority of the season.
Yeah,
because that's very un-Marvel. You know, they're very formulaic, traditional with all their content. So, kudos, guys. Appreciate that. I also like how you broke them out into like little categories there. It's adorable. What was Arcane's category?
That was like best anime of the year because it actually notched out against Attack on Titan there.
Nice.
So, and just, I don't want to say like best everything else, but it has a lot going for it, that series. Like, because you can get into like story, characters. It's
just
nuts.
Best of 2021. Arcane.
Yeah, best of 2021.
Underfunded. Hey, I'll take a late yo than a no yo.
There you go.
Oh,
hey, that was a lot of rhyming. I loved it. He says, just managed to get my phone back from Ari. Well, sounds like she deserves to be grounded. But glad to have you. You made it just in time for the second half of the episode.
But you might.
Yeah, for me. Oh,
do you watch shows or movies or anything?
Not really.
I will say I don't have like barely any movies, but I know they're out there.
Same.
Obviously like Snyderverse
You watch
snuck in
shows or
there.
movies or anything?
But that plays also to my hot take of the year, but we'll get to that later.
Okay. Similarly, I don't have very many movies on my list. Actually, I don't have any movies on my list. Because I really prefer to watch movies in theaters, and you know how that went.
Doesn't feel like it, Mike.
Yeah, not at all.
You know what? Okay, we had COVID lockdowns, theaters shut down forever, and then I had a baby who does not take
What an
bottles and
excuse.
only
You know what?
nurses,
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like the end all excuse for everything, isn't it?
I did get.
I
Sorry,
had a
guys, can't make it. I had a baby.
I did. Okay, I snuck out with BioCiv, and we went and saw Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City a couple weeks ago. That was fun. But
We saw
Becca-
Godzilla vs. Kong, but that was before you had a baby.
Nick and I did see Godzilla vs. Kong. That was fun.
That was a decent movie.
But
That was good. Shout
Becca likes the MCU, and Spider-Man is her favorite of the MCU stuff. So she would probably be really bummed if I went and saw that without her. So and I don't want to do that to her. So we've seriously been trying so hard for like the last week and a half to get a babysitter so we can go see that.
You should tell her, be like, like, babe, I really want you to see the movie. Just you've had a baby recently, so you just got to watch the baby. I'll go.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it twice.
Record it on my phone for you.
There you go.
But yeah, not many movies. A lot of shows. You brought up The Expanse and Arcane, both those on my list, obviously. I agreed with you for a second about the like late to the game award for The Expanse. But as I was thinking, I was like, oh, I mean, as much as I want to put that as my favorite, like late to the game, I have to say mine would have to be Letterkenny. I love that show so
That's
much.
Fair.
Season 10 just came out on the 26th, and it being, like all the other seasons, only 6 episodes, that mid 20 minutes per episode. We blew through it, obviously. So I'm already done with season 10, which makes me real sad. But that show, I have to say, barely overtakes The Expanse. But that's just, it's so funny. And like, it's something I can watch with my wife. Just perfect comedy. Love it so much. Sorry, I'm like fighting off hiccups right now, and it's really, really difficult. What We Do in the Shadows season 3 was a really, really good season of that show, and one of the better seasons of a show that I've seen this year. Really back to form there. Hilarious. One of the most shocking twist endings of the season 3. Didn't see it coming. Made me laugh hysterically. And then
I didn't see that as a show that had twists in it, so that's interesting.
I know it's usually not, but this one had one, and I was like, "Oh."
Did The Office have twists?
I don't know, but BioCiv says What We Do in the Shadows is so good.
So good.
Very much is. But I'd say probably my biggest surprise of the year has been my
Not
recent.
the baby.
No, we knew that was coming.
Okay.
I mean, had 9 months to prepare for that thing.
Okay.
But no, my biggest surprise is my recent dive into Apple TV's content. It's been something I've been, thinking about, signing up for Apple TV for a while. Finally did it. Ted Lasso. I mean, these are all shows I've mentioned many times in the last couple of weeks, so I'm not going to touch on them for very long. But Ted Lasso was great. Invasion was real fun. Foundation was good. Ever since I started The Expanse on Nick and Chad's recommendation, which thank you guys, because that's one of my top shows of 2021 that I saw. I've just been on a massive sci-fi kick. So Invasion and Foundation were really, really good sci-fi shows on Apple TV, and both like different sides of the coin when it comes to sci-fi. Invasion, more of an alien invasion story, obviously, as the name would suggest. But Foundation is a more like Star Wars, The Expanse type show where there's just like a big universe that they're kind of exploring and expanding upon. So yeah, really, really fun shows. And there's like 3 or 4 more shows on my list on Apple TV I'm really excited to get into. The Shrink Next Door with Will Ferrell and Paul Rudd looks really good. There's C with Jason Momoa, I think was one of the first shows that Apple TV did.
Yep.
Those 2, just to name a few. I think there's a couple more, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But probably my biggest surprise.
Yep, like he's seen every Apple TV show.
No, I've just heard him talk about it so much that I know that they're good at this point.
Yeah.
I do want to watch the Invasion Foundation. I haven't even seen anything about, but C is one I really want to get to also because it looks really good.
Yeah, faux show. But yeah, do you have any more, or have any popped into your head, Jordan?
I was gonna ask you guys, did Krampus come close to making anybody's list?
No, but not because I didn't enjoy it. But I think Chad and I had a pretty good time with it.
Yeah,
I enjoyed talking about it last week for sure.
Yeah, it's good. Well, I think The Boy Called Christmas was really good. I know I didn't really make it back to talk about it, but I was really, really impressed with that. And I'm also realizing one thing that on this makeshift setup that I did in here, I'm using the microphone attached to my headset, not the laptop one. So I apologize if it's really bad quality.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's all good.
Cool.
Sound fine.
I know it's a little too late. It was more of a fish hook to see if I sounded like I was talking through a rubber chicken this whole time or something like that.
No, not that bad.
That's good. So one thing I'm going to watch, though, I'm going to say one thing I'm excited to watch at the start of the next new year.
Okay.
Maybe it's something everyone should go around and say. I'm going to watch Becoming the Ricardos on Prime.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'm a big Lucille Ball fan and Desi Arnaz fan. So it's you probably don't know that. I'm pretty sure nobody knows that.
But for some reason, not shocking.
Yeah, I know. I grew up watching I Love Lucy and the Lucy Desi Comedy Hour and the Lucy Show, and I've seen some of her movies, and I'm pretty excited. It's they had a pretty traumatic relationship, and so I'm not like, I don't know. It could be a little bit depressing, but as the way that all the characters are portraying them is pretty damn on point. And Lucille Ball actually has one of the top UFO sightings in America.
Oh,
along with
really?
Ronald Reagan. Yeah,
I
so I'm
did not know
excited
that.
to see. Yeah, I'm excited to see if they actually, her and Ronald Reagan were together. So the White House, and they had a UFO sighting, or wait, they might have been on a ship. I might be mixing that up, but it's one of those two. But it's one of the high officials all talking about UFO sightings. So I'm curious to see if they touch on that somehow.
Yeah.
Becoming the Ricardos.
Mm-hmm.
Is Nicole Kidman like financially in trouble, or is she just making a comeback? Because she's been in a lot of stuff this year.
I don't know.
She financially in trouble.
I don't know.
Just making a comeback.
I don't know.
Because we all know that's why Nicolas Cage.
146. We'll mark that down.
Nicolas Cage.
He was in financial trouble. That's why he was in every single movie he could get his hands on.
I'm still
was that the
looking
reason?
forward to watching Pig, which, by the way,
Yeah,
you
dude,
haven't
that
seen the trailer for
the
that,
trailer
please.
looks fantastic for that.
Did you guys see the Color Purple or whatever it is? He's in a
like
movie.
the Rain movie
No.
or Prince
No.
movie.
Okay, hold on. Before I go,
I think I know what you're talking about.
We're gonna figure out what this is. He has. I've heard good things about it. I think it's on Netflix. Nicolas Cage, The Killer. Apparently, I'm Color Out of Space. Boy, was I wrong. It's just a lot of the.
That's not even close.
But look, if you look at the everything's purple. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you call it again?
I don't want to talk about
Becoming
it.
purple.
You couldn't hear through the
The
mic.
color
You couldn't hear through
purple.
the mic. Couldn't hear through the mic. The mic is terrible quality. No one could hear it.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh,
for
God.
sure.
But look, it's not far off. The Color of Space.
Yeah,
or
we
the
got
hell it
you.
is. And
Space
the color
is
of the boy
purple.
called Christmas. Sounds racial.
Yeah, what the heck, bro? Speaking of being demonetized,
He's
starting
a
early
ginger,
on that, huh?
okay? He's a ginger. It's okay. But yeah, that's I heard
Between
good
that and
things
my
about that
text
movie.
while I was watching Krampus, like,
Yeah.
that ever leaks, bro?
That was my favorite moment of the year right there.
God. What was it? The Jewish thing?
Yeah,
Just
was it
randomly out of nowhere? It's like, what are you, a Jew?
Yeah, it wasn't
Out of-
Nick. It wasn't Mike's comment. It was Nick's response to the comment. Was my
Out of
favorite.
absolutely nowhere. It's like 10:30 at night.
Yeah,
and it, like,
totally
no
unprovoked.
quotes, just all caps. Just like, what are you, a Jew? And I'm just like, wow. Like Mike's like,
The best part is like Mike's like, if that ever leaks, Chad's like, and I quote.
Yeah.
Verbatim.
I'm like, Mike's just like belligerent drunk, just like going on a
The
racial
exact-
rampage.
Yeah, the exact quote was random hate speech from Mike at 10 a.m. is what he said. It meant
Whoops.
10 p.m. But
It
oh
normally
my gosh,
happens
dude,
at Yeah, it normally happens at 2 a.m. We get the text
Yeah.
from Mike with the random hate speech.
It's like, wow. He's like, I'm quoting a movie, guys. You'll understand.
yeah.
Sure, we'll understand.
I don't think we even got that explanation.
No, I was just
though.
like, just watch Krampus, you'll get
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, that's
no.
what I said.
Did you even say that? Because I didn't even realize it until I watched Krampus. Then I was like, oh, now I get it.
The new movie's going to be You Got Blackmail.
Yeah.
So before I go, Mike, what's up with the candle, man? What's the scent?
Ooh, Pokeball.
Oh,
Ash's feet.
Testicles.
Ash's feet. The candle is bourbon pecan pie. It's my go-to. Delicious scent.
Is that the one you had last time? It was the one you had
It's the
last
one
time.
I always have.
Slow burner.
Yeah, no,
How-
this is just a new one. I just
How
keep
many do you have?
replenishing.
Those aren't pops
Dang.
back there. Those are all bourbon.
Yeah,
pecan
those-
Candles,
pie.
yeah.
They're all lit, and it's not even like an LED light. It's just
Yeah,
all
those are
flame.
just flames from all my candles. This is actually not my basement; it's a monastery. No, this is my only one. I got the big boy this time because I burnt through
the big gulp, huh?
Yeah,
You have the big gulp candle. That's
Yep.
good.
and
The
then
big boy.
I believe I don't know where it is, but I got another candle, different scent, but excited to break that one out. But I still got a while to go on this one.
Yeah, no, we all look forward to watching it burn.
Yes, yes.
All right, it was fun, guys. Have fun with the rest of the
man.
show, and
See you later,
always.
bro.
pitching.
Thanks for jumping on.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye, Jordan.
I was really hoping he'd like boomer out and just be like, "Wait, how do I get out of this?"
Yeah.
His face just to the Exorcist thing, and just like,
Yeah. You got any other things that you enjoyed watching this year, Chad?
Yeah, I mean, I think I unfortunately I'm gonna save the one that I really enjoyed recently watching for our companion series. Because that's also what I'm looking forward to this year is the Boba Fett series. So yeah, I mean,
How about that first episode, guys?
Oh man,
I
it's
mean,
great. Can't wait to talk
no
about
specifics. Wow, great episode.
Can't wait to talk about it.
Sunday's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so I did want to just reiterate how good Silence is. If you're even remotely into either of those two subjects, you should go watch that movie. That's like my movie that I watched this year that I was like, holy crap. Like, it's like 2.5 hours long. I thought I was going to hate it, and I absolutely loved every minute of it. Unfortunately, I don't think anybody that I made watch it enjoyed it as much as I did. But, you know,
I know
it
how
happens.
that goes. I feel you, bro.
That's fair. It's a struggle around here.
How about you, Nick? You said you were well prepared, so do you have more on your list?
Yeah, so I have more like hits, like shows I was able to hit in terms to go through. Then I have misses.
Okay.
I think that'll drive a little bit of conversation there if they're misses. And I'm building stuff to watch as we kind of talk here. So I'm happy about that.
I have an update about stuff to watch, by the way. Don't let me forget.
Okay. When we go to that section, you won't forget. But Loki gets the most fun series that I saw this year.
That was a fun one.
Bad Batch, it just gets like the good Star Wars award for the year. Boba Fett doesn't count because
One episode.
no,
No,
I mean
not
that one
enough.
episode was really good,
It
but
was pretty dope.
Bad Batch, obviously that was fun. It was long. I enjoyed the longer animes of Star Wars. It's just more. Midnight Mass. Best
it's on my
original
list.
story.
Oh man, yeah, that's on my list.
I gotta
for
say,
sure.
I like your format, Nick. So let's remember this for next year. A year away from this, we'll do like the Showboys Year in Review awards.
That's a good idea. I like that idea.
Yeah.
But anyways, continue.
Mayor of Easttown. Most compelling story. Or like most compelling watch, right? Is the thing that like had to keep watching because it was just good. On top of their Murder, Dirter, and the Worder. If you watch it, you get it. But
I've not seen it, so that was just hilarious. I just imagine like what Beaker from Sesame Street or whatever. The Swedish Chef guy. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, you have to ruin it for yourself. You have to watch the SNL skit on it, then watch the show, and then it's good. It lightens the show up a lot.
I did want to get to that show because after I watched The Outsider, I was looking for similar shows, and that kept popping up. So, I definitely want to get around to it.
Then that's a miss for you. That's in your miss category.
Yes.
Witcher. Best like series comeback, like his terms, in Mike's term of his little new spreadsheet he has, waiting on new season. Like it was the best waiting on a new season one to pop up. Outside the Expanse, but the Expanse already has an award.
Come on. Season 6, baby.
Dude, Witcher is really fun this season. I mean, haven't
That's
finished it, but it's what I hear. See, this is where I'm gonna force myself to stop talking and not
spoil anything for us.
Yeah. Or just like there could be a gaming tangent there, but
I'm
that for next week. And then Handmaid's Tale for like best continuation of a story that like I wanted to like keep watching. So Handmaid's Tale, like this season was particularly strong this year. So I did like it. I think that wraps up my like all the ones I hit. I obviously think I watched more shows than that, but that's a good breadth of them.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, we kind of covered, I had the Disney MCU series on there. We extensively talked about Hawkeye, and all three of the other ones popped up throughout so far, so we don't have to go into those, but those were really fun. And I enjoy what they're doing with some of the side characters in the movies, getting the spotlight. Like Nick said, we're learning more about their capabilities, their power, where they came from, and who they are, which just makes you fall in love with the characters even more. And in the case of Wanda, like
she's God
Scarlet
tier.
Witch is like super busted OP, but was never never got her chance to shine in the movies really. So it was fun to see her, like all of us, get to realize what she can actually do, what she's capable of in that series. We talked about the Expanse multiple times on the show. Yeah, what's up?
But speaking of characters being super busted OP, I think I tend to like those because I like Superman in the Snyderverse because he's like busted OP, but we're exploring that busted OP-ness and like his weaknesses. So that also, I don't know why I'm thinking about this when you said that, but like that's why I like Dragon Ball Z because they're all busted OP in that series. But it's all about exploring like they are still weak or like they're not always busted OP. And then WandaVision
there.
And then Wanda, she is busted OP, but so are a few other people in the MCU. So who's gonna
who's the most busted?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, actually, Mike, finish up. I do have two more I want to go after.
Okay. So we've talked about The Expanse. Just love that show. So glad that I was recommended it by Nick and Chad. So glad I slammed through it. And so glad that season 6 is in progress. We got 3 more episodes, right?
Yes.
6 episodes.
Yep.
Halfway over. Kind of sad that we only have 3. We were talking in Discord, actually, Nick and I, about some of the things transpiring in season 6 here. But Nick brought up a cool point about, like, I don't know, the universe here is so expansive with all the different kinds of stories they can tell. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some spin-offs, maybe a movie. I don't know. I am not personally aware of any chatter about that floating about, but are you, Nick, or were you just purely speculating on the possibilities?
I mean, maybe there's like some proto-molecule on the brain. I swear I've seen it on the internet.
Nice. That was a great usage of perfect. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited about the possibilities. Hopefully something comes out of that, because there is a lot left to explore. And obviously they can't explore all of it in 3 episodes. Arcane, talked about that at length. That was probably my biggest surprise of the year, honestly. Like, I mean, I was excited about that.
Yeah.
Like, but it blew all my expectations out of the water. Like that.
I did not think something was going to melt my brain as hard as like Attack on Titan did when I first watched that. Because like how groundbreaking that was to me in terms of like watching an anime that was just next level. Arcane's kind of like the mainstream.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, it's like it's that, but like took it to like a very mainstream medium that anyone can watch. Like you don't have to know anything about anime, you don't have to know anything about League of Legends.
Yeah,
you can't if you watch cartoons or like are okay with that medium. I don't know why you wouldn't like it.
Enjoy a good story, like you'll love this. But like the animation is mind blowing, beautiful. The colors are captivating. The voice acting is amazing. The storyline is just through the roof. And then on top of all that, being a fan of the game and getting to see characters that you've played with and played against, come to life in a narrative capacity is so satisfying and so fun.
I want to watch that underfunded.
He says, I loved Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah. Very
nice. Very nice. Nick brought up Midnight Mass. I was late to the party on Haunting of Hill House, but that was last year because we had Jordan on for one of our first October episodes, and we talked about that. But with Bly Manor, I really enjoyed that. And then Midnight Mass, like as I keep consuming Mike Flanagan stuff, my appreciation for his creatives and like great storytelling and character building through these series just keeps growing and growing and growing. He has a new project.
He's like a rookie like draft pick. Like he's just
yes
getting better and better. That's my sports ball analogy right there.
Yes. But he does have like a new project in the works, something like the House of Usher or something.
Yeah,
it's like a really long title. We did some casting news on that in the last newscast, but I'm excited for that. Like I don't know, I love how each story he tells is just a one-off, one season story series. I don't know, my appreciation for Mike Flanagan was conceived here in 2021, and Midnight Mass was just another great title to throw under his belt. Great show, super fun story. The only 2 on my list that have not been talked about yet are Amazon Prime's Invincible, which is another anime here, an adaptation of Robert Kirkman's comic series of the same name, Invincible. And it's very Robert Kirkman. If you read any of his stuff, it's usually just chaos and craziness, and Kirkman's take on superheroes is a very interesting one, and the show translated very well. It was fun. The cast, the voice acting cast on this is insane. Excited to see what happens with that. The animation of that show like looks like
a comic book,
like straight off of a comic page. It's so great. And then the other show is another Prime show, and I don't know. I haven't heard any news. I'm not positive that this will ever get a second season, which kind of makes me sad. But a show called Wayne on Amazon Prime, like such a good show. Just like I don't even know how to describe it. Very raw, gritty take on like a high school love story. That sounds like a weird way to describe it, but I mean that's pretty much what it is. You'll just have to look it up. Actually, Gino from work, Nick, turned me on to the show, and it was fantastic. I'd have to say, if Arcane wasn't so good, like Wayne would take the cake for biggest surprise of 2021.
Wow.
Adding it to the list.
Yeah, see, Underfunded knows what's up. He says, dude, yes, I want to see Wayne. The trailers looked so good. Well, let me tell you.
It's so good.
So good. And Biosiv says, forgot about Invincible. Fantastic show. Yes, indeed. So, Chad, go ahead. Sorry, these hiccups are getting unreal. Go ahead and let us know those two you came up with, and I'll find the trailer for Wayne and throw it up.
There we go. So I lost one of them in the mix of Mike's breakdown of his shows, but the one that I definitely totally slipped to my mind that I really need to give a shout out to is Demon Slayer. It's for my money, it's the best anime that I've watched probably in the past 10 years.
Whoa.
I just think it's fantastic. The second season is starting now. I have not yet watched a single episode of it. I need to get around to it, but it's just a great show, man. It's a great anime. I made the fatal mistake of letting my 8-year-old son watch it because I believed Google's rating system, which was for Japan and not America. So yeah, it's probably not safe for kids, but he's obsessed with it now. So I can't really take it back. But he got the game for Christmas. So I started rewatching some of the older episodes. It's a great anime, hands down. My pick for anime of the year that I watched, at least.
Sorry to make you lose track of that one.
That's all good. Demon Slayer was the one I wanted to get in there. So
nice.
Added.
Underfunded says Wayne seems very much like Shameless. I think that's a pretty good comparison. He says just really accurate current life. So here's the trailer for Wayne. Sorry, audio only listeners, but at least you'll be able to hear it. Enjoy. Yep.
That
was my
trailer
runner
for
up
the night.
for shocking of most shocking thing surprising, I should say, thing I saw. But yeah, do you guys got any more on your list? Because we do have a couple Answer the Boys.
I just want to say, because it's been the son has stayed home this week, and it has been his third can sit there and watch movie. Encanto on Disney is unbelievably good. The animation is so detailed and deep in terms of Disney's arc of their animation. And then the songs also all slap. There's ones that there's two of them I just cannot get out of my head. But it's been the theme this week, and
I keep hearing that.
Yeah, it's a good watch. It's fun.
Yeah, the kids they watched that on Christmas Day, and have watched it a couple times since. But I haven't had the chance to sit down and watch it with them. But the few scenes that I've seen in passing, you're right. The animation is stunning. I always seem to walk in when the dad or whoever is swelling up, and that I don't know. It looks really, really good, and I'm just like, what is wrong with this guy? Yeah, I don't know. I need to sit down and watch it because you were talking about it. I think Rachel from Discord was talking about it. And my kids love it. They've watched it multiple times. So I'm going to have to sit down and watch it too.
Cool. Well, I got a list of misses.
Okay.
That I can go through quick. Squid Game, missed it.
Same.
Most slept on award. Just purposely slept on it. I think I'm saving it. Yellowstone, I'm just avoiding the hype. And basically like everyone over 40 watches it. So I'm just like avoiding that crowd. Like I need to let them get it out of their system, and then I'll watch it years from now. Season 3 Narcos Mexico. Most like loss of momentum award, because like first 2 seasons, like I cranked through, I loved them, but like it just didn't fit in this year. Like with what I was watching, it must have been like a vibe thing, like whatever I was currently on.
It's good. It's a good story. I was amped for it because I remember that I watched a couple movies and documentaries on that story, so I might be a little swayed in that, but I liked it a lot.
No, I mean, I think I just didn't like fit in, and like I think I like went to watch the first episode. I was like, I just can't like right now. Like I just couldn't do it.
Underfunded says Squid Game is good, but it doesn't live up to the hype it's been given. Solid 8 out of 10. I mean, that's still pretty solid.
Yeah, but it needs to be a 10 out of 10. That's what I'm looking for in this list.
So much.
I mean, it's good. It's good. I would disagree with him on that. I think it's hyped up to the level that it is.
I feel like that might play into like subconsciously why I avoid certain things.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's what part of the reason I avoided Star Wars for so long.
Overhyped,
is like, especially with something like Squid Game that hasn't. I mean, it's brand new, right?
Right.
So like, it's blown up everywhere. Every social media, people are posting about, oh my god, Squid Game. Like YouTube creators are creating their own Squid Game contests. All these sites are ranting and raving about it. I'm just afraid I'm gonna turn it on and then it's not gonna live up to that, and I'm just like, I hate that. So like, I don't know. I might wait a little bit longer for the hype to die down, then go back and like experience it kind of fresh.
Right.
Yeah, I almost want to you sit on them long enough to reset whatever hype is around them. So when you watch it, like you are just watching just another thing and letting it be more impressive.
Yeah.
Sweet Tooth, most skeptical about. I missed it. Just because I just don't know where it's gonna land.
It's pretty good. It was something Becca and I were watching together, and then Becca lost interest like she does most things we watch together, and I haven't watched it since. So, but I liked what I saw, but I could understand your skepticism.
Yeah.
Biosiv says, I'm with underfunded. It's not good, or it's good, but not amazing. 7 out of 10. And then underfunded says, I just don't think it's good enough to be best on Netflix like it is right now. Like there are better shows, but it is good.
Very true.
Sorry.
Hype train. And then this one I nearly forgot about, but Mayor of Kingstown, Jeremy Renner.
I keep seeing ads about that.
Lost in the mix. Totally. I saw when it first was advertised, I was like, I have to watch that, and just lost it.
I thought for some reason that was in the same universe as Yellowstone or something, but it's not apparently. I don't know where I got that mixed up at.
There is another show though that is directly related to.
Yeah, it's like a prequel.
It's set in
1883.
Yeah, 1883. Yeah.
What is Mayor of Kingstown on? What's it stream on?
I don't know, to be honest. Dude.
Kingstown is Paramount Plus.
There you go.
Hey, I have that one.
Got him.
Becca and I are wanting to watch Yellowstone because we're basically 40.
Right.
And the new season is on Paramount Plus, but none of the old seasons are. And then the old seasons are on Peacock, but you can only watch the first season having a free account, and then season 2 or 3 are behind a paywall. So I'm just this is just too much work.
Way too much. Yeah. I'm out for that reason.
That too. And I think that's also maybe the age segregation there is like they all have cable and like DirecTV Dish, so they get the packages and it's all just built in. We're all like streaming services, like it's not on Netflix, like can't watch it.
Right. Yeah. Right.
We're handicapped the other direction. They're handicapped.
Yes, it's so good.
And then it just has a little bonus section to misses because these are technically misses, but their failure to launch. Tempted to watch them. Succession is like the most wanted thing I want to watch that I haven't seen. I'm going to get to it, but it's one of those like full hour long things, so I need to like really sit down and digest. But there's great actors in there that I want to see play great characters, as I'm told. Have you seen it, Chad?
I have not. No, I keep seeing the trailer. It looks good.
Looks up our alley. It's like
it definitely does.
A sidecar to like mob stuff.
Yeah,
just
true.
Like white collar
crime stuff. Yeah.
And then what we do in the shadows. That one is just crippled by my hatred for Hulu ads. So technical difficulties on that show. Otherwise, I would have like slammed it.
Yeah. Man, I hope you can pound through your hatred for Hulu because it's a great show.
Just gonna have to like find an account that doesn't have ads.
Yeah, or like hit the lottery so you can afford ad free.
Yeah, but that's all I got.
Breaking news. Where's the
hit it?
Where is it? Oh my gosh. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right, hold on.
That's why we need a producer.
Breaking news. All right. I just got a text from Jordan. I almost said Chad. He says, crap! I had exclamation point. Had to.
You did good.
Anyways,
you did good.
I forgot about Transformers Kingdom.
Wow.
Was that worth what just happened? No. Also, I just realized I didn't have to switch to the newscast brand because the breaking news. It's right here in our What's Watching brand. Wow. That's why we need a producer. You're so right. Okay. Either of you guys have anything else, or are we cool to hit the answer the boys?
Yeah, hit them up.
All right. So, of course, we asked. What your favorite shows or movies that you consumed in 2021 were, or maybe because we're a bit narcissistic, we asked also what some of your favorite Showboys moments were from 2021. And Rachel's Holiday says, this isn't a single podcast moment, but I really like how you refer to previous episodes in a kind of sneaky way. Like over the summer, you guys were talking about that cult video game Kanye West came out with. Hopefully I'm recalling that correctly. And now anytime cultish behavior comes up, you refer to that game. Outside of all the Star Trek that has been watched in my home this year, I also really enjoyed Call Me Kat, which is actually new this year. And I started to watch season 2 of The Great, season 3 of Bluey. Gotta show Bluey some love.
Bluey.
Love Bluey so much. Season 3 of Bluey also came out in Australia, and the family has been watching that. And while I have some small qualms, it continues to be super amazing. Excuse me. But I just want to clear things up so Kanye doesn't sue me or Showboys LLC. Kanye West did not create the cult video game. It is called Kanye Quest 3030 though, or something like that.
Yes.
But indeed it was not created by Kanye West. But I think, now that we've been around for over a year, we are starting to get like
a metaverse.
Our little Showboys metaverse of inside jokes and whatnot. So I'm glad somebody appreciates it out there. Thank you, Rachel. And I should have known Star Trek would be something that you've watched in 2021 after the episode you joined us on.
I was so close to clicking Discovery on, I think it's on Prime, but then I was like, wait, which one? I was trying to remember all the different like that episode to where some people were like, watch this first. Hey, just watch this. I was like,
Just don't watch Captain Kirk, apparently.
yeah. So I was like, but what if this isn't the right one to start with? And then like it all just dissolved around me.
Yes. Oh, that's amazing. Call Me Cat, I've never heard of, but I have heard of The Great, and I've been somewhat speaking of, it's underfunded feelings about Captain Kirk.
A lot of K's right there.
Yeah. Yeah, we understand your hatred for Kirk. But yeah, The Great has been a show that I've been like mildly intrigued about, but never actually watched. It looks kind of funny. It's about Russian royalty, like back in the day. I don't know. Looks pretty funny. I never got around to watching it though. And of course, Bluey. I mean, we love Bluey.
Bluey.
I'm so excited for season 3 to come out in the US. Because I don't know what kind of crazy sorcerer she is getting this Australian version.
If you're on that episode with me and Chad over the summer, you would know how to do it.
Yes.
We shared our tales of hacking different countries and getting access to their media.
Wow, dude. Wow.
You missed some stuff. I forgot all about that. Yeah.
I was chilling at the beach.
Speaking of a good episode, man.
Yeah, sounds like it. Biosiv replied. He said, at the end of January, I started One Piece, an anime. It was better than expected, so I was able to muscle through 700 plus episodes this year.
Yeah, it's funny because my cousin was just telling me that he started watching it, and it's like 1,000-something episodes, which is absurd. Absolutely absurd. So
they're like 5 minutes long.
No. I mean, I think most animes are like 20, 30 minutes long, but still, even 1,000 minutes or 1,000 episodes at 20 minutes is excessively.
That's a lot of
yeah.
Well, man, I feel like Biosiv should win an award of some sort for watching
most anime episodes watched.
Yeah, most singular franchise consumption or something. I don't know.
He should have streamed himself watching all 700 episodes.
Yeah.
Yes. Underfunded Scientist says One Piece is so good.
So good.
Yeah. Biosiv then says, oh, this year I also discovered The Boys on Amazon. That was a really good show. And Hitmonkey is a pretty good Marvel anime, which Chad has briefly talked about, I think.
Yeah, it's good, man. Yeah, it's really good. I need to finish it. I need to get around to finishing it. It's just a cool, funny Marvel anime, you know? You just have to be there. And some of the villains that they put in there I thought were hilarious too. So it's a good show for sure.
So, yeah, we did forget about reminding me about the misses, not the misses, but the misses of shows.
Yeah.
So, Chad and I talked about on the Krampus episode about needing to create some sort of list about shows that I need to watch, my backlog tracker, so to speak. Yeah. So I did start this. Okay. So I don't know if you can see this, maybe on full screen you can, but I have indeed started a log of all the shows that I need to watch. And as you can see, there's quite a bit on here. Let's do a little tally here. Okay, that's a sum. That's not the count. We got 40 shows so far. So, yeah, needless to say, 2022 is going to be pretty busy for me. But I think what I'm going to do is I might post this in Discord and use this as like a way for you guys to hold me accountable to what I need to watch. And Chad, you'll be happy to know that
I see
Game of Thrones right here. It's number one. It's number one priority. So it's gonna be on there. But yeah, I don't know.
You have too many number ones, man.
I know.
There's a lot of number one priorities.
Dude.
I think you could knock a couple of those out of there.
Well, like the
Wheel
Expanse,
of Time.
That's gonna be done here.
We need a separate section for like watching versus not watched at all.
Yeah, that's true. Once I fine tune this, maybe if you guys are interested, we can make a tab for you guys, have like the Showboys backlog tracker.
Yeah.
But this is something that I plan on making public in our Discord, for you guys to hold me accountable to shows that I have said that I need to watch, but haven't yet. But also maybe it'll be a good thing for you guys to see, to get some ideas for things to watch. I don't know. But that's what I've been working on in the background while I'm supposed to be working at work. But we don't need to talk about that. But yeah, I don't know. You guys got anything left to say tonight? Are we about to wrap this up?
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Happy early New Year. The eve of New Year's Eve tonight. I will say, BioCiv, he says, what? No side reel? I was talking to him about this list, and he suggested a site called sidereel.com, which is actually pretty cool. But I needed a way, BioCiv, to prioritize my list, because I made a big list on there, and then everything was just like in the order I put it on the list. I was like, I need to be able to sort this. And basically,
such an analytical way of looking at it. You can tell you work with spreadsheets for sure.
Exactly. My life revolves around Google Sheets, so it just naturally needed to go in a Google Sheet. But Sidereel is a really cool website, so you guys should check it out if you want to make your own like backlogs and stuff. Under fun, it says, I've heard Trello is good. Very nice. But yeah, I think that does it for us tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for listening in here on our 2021 year in review. I think next year I would like to do like a 2022 Showboys year in review awards.
Yeah,
maybe we'll come up with the categories like Nick did, and then each like nominate a show or something, and then share our nominations and discuss which one should actually win or something.
Yes.
I don't know. But yeah, what do we got coming up? Sunday night, 9 p.m. Boba Fett companion series. I am so excited about Sunday night because there's so much to break down.
Yes, and I am very excited because
oh my gosh, because basically, yeah, we'll get into it on Sunday, but holy cow, this answered a lot of things that we talked about in episode 0.
Prediction King over here already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That'll be fun. So make sure you join us. All the usual places: YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. 9 p.m. Sunday night. Monday night we got the newscast coming up. 9 p.m. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. January 7th. A couple conversations will be returning from our hiatus, which will be fun. I'm excited to get back talking with my wife about relationship stuff. And then, of course, we have our episode next week. We'll be joined by BioCiv, the man himself, and we'll be reviewing the gaming goals we set for ourselves earlier this year and setting some new ones for 2022, which is really exciting. Once again, check out our merch store, check out our Patreon, and subscribe to YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, and subscribe to Showboys Gaming. Yeah, until next time, we'll see you on Sunday. You guys have a lovely evening.
You know what? All I know is about 2021 is that movies are dead, shows and series are king. Long live the show.